What's good, everybody? And today we're gonna be talking about the pump and dump setup. You know, so the formula for the pump and dump is. Give me a second. Let me get a tool. Let me get a tool real quick. Let me get another tool. So we must get a pump up first, and then a lower low, a break in structure, lower low, and then a dump, a pump back, a pull back, and then a dump. So I'll explain that if it sounds confusing. Up, a break up structure. Let's just put break up structure, pump, break up structure, pump, and then a dump. Or, yeah, let's put the words a little bigger. Let's put it at 20. So we must get a break of structure first, and then a pump up, and then a dump. So I'll explain that. Right, so, like, this is our break of structure. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Right, that's better, easier. We got a break of structure. This is our like, if you think about it, right? We got a break of structure. Think of it as like this. This is our neckline, right? That's the neckline. And then this is our M structure. That's the neckline. This is the neckline. Right here. We get the pump up. When we get the pump up, right? What they did, they took out the high. This is what I would call our extended M pattern. They took out the high, hit the stops, and then reversed. This is our larger M. You know, the pump and dump could be something like this. It could be a lower low. My bad, guys. My little sibling is in my rooms. Could be a lower low. It could be a lower M. For the dump, this is the neckline. Like that. Excuse me. This was the neckline for that. My bad. That's the neckline. This could be our extended M. You see, you get what I'm trying to say over here, right? Look at that. This is our M, our extended M. They hit the stops. Look, front side, back side. We get the breaker structure. We get the pump up. Once we get the pump up, when we're at the back side of the move, I'm looking for a dump. And that's exactly what happens. We get the pump up. My bad, guys. It's a little laggy. Pump. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pump. We get the pump up and then the dump. We're at the back side of the move. Once we're at the back side, I'll just be selling. I'll be short, like right there, like at 50 round numbers, just selling straight to the low. This is a 90-10 opportunity, so I'll be sizing in as it goes lower. Trade should be done in 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. I'm looking at the clock. Okay, 30 minutes hits. This looks like a reversal. It looks like they put a low in place. Now they're working towards the low for a vertical move up. I'll cut the trade and get off the screen. Easy 50 pip trade. Easy, fast, low stress, 50 pip. That's the pump and dump. Let's look at another example. Understand that the moves should be vertical. So, for example, we get the pump up, right? Look at this scenario. We get the pump up. We get the lower low. This is our breaking structure. A breaking structure could come in variations. It could be a low. It could be just this breaker structure could go like this. It could go like this. It could break a second time. It doesn't have to break the extreme breaker structure. It could break inside. Break of structure. It could break inside. Pump up. Grab some liquidity before reversing. Like that. And this will be our short in them. This is the neckline. Neckline right here. Look, we get the pump up. We cut it short, but you gotta understand the move should be vertical. You're looking at the clock. 30 minutes, in 30 to 45 minutes, they should have already been at the low right there. But look what they're doing. They came back, pulled back, and they just looks like they're shorting, but they're not trying to go anywhere. So I would cut the trade. You know, it depends. It depends what this is Asia session, so there's less liquidity. You know, this isn't necessarily a pump and dump to me. They pumped it up, but they broke structure, pulled back. I guess you could trade this, but like, I like mine. I'm more picky. Like, I like something clear. I'm not into this guessing game. I like certainty. So we got the pump up. Guess what they did? They broke structure. This is our neckline. Our neckline. They broke structure, pulled back. They pumped it up at 50, and you could have hold. But you gotta understand, this is a consolidation. This is not working low. This is a consolidation. We gotta, if we're consolidating underneath a high, you could expect an explosive move to the downside if it's underneath the peak formation or whatever. You know, you could have gotten an early fill. They broke structure lower. They pumped it up. We're at the back side of the move. Dump. You know. It just depends like how you trade, but you don't have to trade this. You know, if it's not clear to you, don't trade it. But understand, like, they pumped it up. They pumped it up. They put a lower low. This is our breaker structure. This is our neckline now. That's the neckline. They pumped it up. We're at the back side of the move, and they dump it. Easy money. Could take the money off the table. So look at this. Look at this. They pumped it up. What they did, they broke structure. They pumped it back up. You could have gotten like that. You could have gotten once we were at the back side of that trend line. I don't trade trend lines. I only trade if we're at, I would only sell if we're at the back side. You know, this is our larger, well, not necessarily our larger, but you could say that this is our neckline. If you're more patient and wait for like 30 to 45 minutes, then when we get the pump up, this will normally be our break structure. This is our neckline. Wait for them to pump it up. Once we're at the back side, we could just short. We're at the back side of the move. You know, it's not going to be clear. That's why you got to look at more than different pairs. You got to look at different pairs to see whether like it's setting up or not. You get what I mean? They pumped it up. This is, just look at the larger structure. They pumped it up. This is when our extended M comes in place. So like, this is the high. This is our neckline. And think of it like this. Just think of it like this. We got our M structure, right? We broke structure. They came out, took out liquidity, came back down. Pump and dump. Our M structure, pump and dump. Look at this. Like, it's literally simple. Remember how I told you, like, you want to be selling when you're at the back side of the move. These trend lines could also have stops hunts. So when we get like a poke through and then a pullback immediately, that's a stop hunt. And that's a stop hunt within the trend line. But look, we're at the back side of the move. We could just be selling at round numbers. This is our breaker structure. They pumped it up. This is our larger M structure. Breaker structure, pump, and then a dump. See that? Major round numbers, double zeros. Look how simple it is. Don't complicate it. Look, we got another breaker structure. We got a breaker. They pumped it up. Don't sell just because we're at the backside. Wait for the breaker structure. We got the breaker structure. They pumped it back up. In situations like these, I would just draw my trend line like this, because what could happen is they could pump it up, right? And then they could come reject off of here and then keep going higher. So I'll like try to be more accurate with my trend lines and draw it from these points. You get what I mean? Look what happens. We get the pump up. We get the breaker structure. They came and took out liquidity. This is our neckline for the breaker structure. The dump. This is where the pump started. Right here. This is where the pump started. Where we're at. Above major round numbers. Again, we're at the backside. As it starts to fall off, I'll be getting in, sizing in. We got our breaker structure. After the pump up, breaker structure, they pumped it up. And then a dump. It's simple. Don't complicate it too much. Everything is simple. You know, you don't gotta trade every move, but just look at clear setups. You know, they pumped it up. They pumped it up. We get the breaker structure. I will be selling when we're at the backside of the move. They pumped it up. I'm in. I don't care. 50. This actually ran. If you're trading indices, this actually ran. This ran 50, 150 pips. That's enough. You could be profitable with 150 pips. Just sizing the best setup. So look, we got our micro, we got our extended M pattern. This is the neckline. We're at the back side of the move. I'm selling. It's literally that simple. Like, it's nothing too complicated. You know, really nothing too complicated. Look, they ain't even hit the low yet. They ain't even take out the low. Understand? Look at all this space underneath this neckline. That's the neckline. They pumped it up. They broke structure. This is the neckline. What started the pump? This candle right here. That started the pump. And they even take out the low yet. They just came down to break structure. Price would normally do something like this. Pump it up. Break structure. Because look, when people are selling, they're selling fast. They're thinking this is a trend. They're thinking this is the real trend. So they're getting stopped out twice. So look, they're selling, and then price comes back, pumped up, hit the stops. For the traders, the first mouse who sold first. My bad. I'm just tired and I can't speak correctly, but they pumped it up. Now people are thinking, oh, we broke structure, so I could expect people trade breakouts or whatever. I could expect price to keep going up since we're bullish now. But instead, it's just trapping people again, trying to think that they're going long, just to stop them out and come back and hit the stops to where the move started. This is our neckline. This is our M, the top of our M structure, and this is the pump, breaker structure, pull back, pump up, hitting stops, and then dump. But understand, forget the pump. Understand that we got a broken structure. We broke structure. They pumped it up, and then they dumped it. This is exactly that's happening. This is what's happening right now. They pumped it up. We broke structure. They came down. They didn't even take out the low, but they pumped it back up. And as we're dropping, I'll be sizing in. And just look at this. This ran a lot. It ran a lot. Like, it happens everywhere. Literally happens everywhere. You know. They pumped it up. They broke structure. We're at the backside. And they came straight back down. remember the equity hour is a stop hunt against the trend, so you gotta be aware of the timings. And this is our neckline. Be aware of the clock. Just because price pulls back doesn't mean the trade has failed. Like, just pay attention to the clock. 30 to 45 minutes, right? Exactly. 30 to 45 minutes, the move should be over, and the new hour starts. And within 30 minutes, the move was over. There's nothing hard. We get the breaker structure, we get the pump back up, and then the dump to where the pump has started. And that's pretty much it. It happens everywhere. Not too complicated. That's the pump and dump setup.